Hello everyone and welcome back to Game Vent. My name is Ethan York.
And I'm Justin, GameSage Borras.
And today we are going to be talking about a very hot topic, and that is what will be the next Call of Duty. Now, at this point, besides for one fact, we really don't know anything about the next Call of Duty game.
One thing that we do know about it is that it's going to be made by Treyarch.
That has been confirmed.
Yeah, yes, but other than that, we don't really have anything solid.
Yeah. The only thing that is, I would say, is really the only substantial evidence, and I don't see it as it being Call of Duty evidence. It's evidence of something. We know that for sure. It was a picture released by the Xbox Community Manager that depicts either a 2 in Roman numerals or a pause symbol written in red with Morse code behind it, which has been translated to saying that there will be a Xbox announcement on May the 4th of this year.
Right, exactly. Some people have been saying that is going to be a World at War 2.
Yeah, that would certainly be cool, but
I would absolutely love it.
Yeah, the World at War was definitely one of the better Call of Duty games.
I personally wish they would go back to their World War II eras. But anyway, that being said, that it is going to be a World War II, or World at War 2, sorry. And even some people are speculating that it's going to be Black Ops 3. What we know about Call of Duty is that they love making them in trilogies.
Yeah.
So the whole Black Ops 3 thing wouldn't really make sense.
Yeah.
Because the timeline with that was World at War, Black Ops 1, and Black Ops 2.
Yeah. And in case you're wondering where we are getting this information, I do understand it's a little hard to believe that a trilogy would consist of World at War, Black Ops 1, and Black Ops 2.
True.
But we did find a very intriguing Reddit article basically explaining the way Call of Duty has done things for the past, decade that they've been making games, and it seems that it's all in trilogies, and if Call of Duty World at War is really connected to Black Ops, then it seems like this is the start of a new trilogy for the Call of Duty franchise.
Well, I mean, even look at the beginning of the Xbox 360 area of Call of Duty. When they first started, it was still World War II era.
Yep.
And I loved the original trilogy so much. But and then as soon as they got to Call of Duty 3, they went with the Advanced Warfare.
Yeah.
And
Call of Duty 4 was Modern Warfare, the start of Modern Warfare.
Right. Sorry. Yeah. They got too many freaking stupid names for our league.
But another reason that at least we are thinking that they might start another trilogy is that the past 2 Call of Duty games have been the start of new series. Think about it. You had the possibility, according to this Reddit article, that Black Ops 2 was the end of Treyarch series.
Right.
You had Modern Warfare 3 that was the end of Infinity Ward series.
Right.
And Call of Duty Ghosts was Sledgehammer's first game, which obviously means that they're starting a new series. Advanced Warfare is a new series for Infinity Ward.
This is true.
Treyarch is the only company left that hasn't started a new series, and the last game they made could possibly be the end of a series, so I'm thinking it's time for them to start a new series.
Yeah, absolutely. What it's gonna be, I have absolutely no idea, because I mean, alright, so I personally would like them to possibly, since let's just get all these ideas out there, possibly even go back further in time. I mean, there's a lot of interesting eras to visit, and let's face it, one of the oldest game in the history of men is the Game of War. So, I mean, I would be interested, like we were discussing before we were talking about the video. I think it would be cool to even go to like a Civil War.
That would be cool. The only issue that I have personally with the Civil War era is that Call of Duty is now known for 2 things. Their reputation is that their games are incredibly fast-paced and that they run at a smooth 60 frames per second, which it doesn't always hit its mark with 60 frames per second, but those are 2 things that they're known for. And I feel like the Civil War era, because a lot of the weapons were bolt action and single shot, that it would really slow down the pace of gameplay, and Call of Duty's reputation for being fast-paced would sort of diminish.
Okay, I can see that. But alright, so what haven't we explored in the Call of Duty series in terms of timeline?
Well, here's what I was thinking. This is purely speculation on my part, but a long time ago it was released that Sledgehammer Games was working on a Call of Duty Vietnam game, and it later got canceled because they merged with Infinity Ward, I believe, to make Modern Warfare 3. Not completely sure if that's true, but somewhere, someplace they have gameplay elements and maps and ideas for a Vietnam Call of Duty, and if they're starting a new series, they got...
No, correct me if I'm wrong, but
okay.
was there not Vietnam levels in Black Ops?
I believe Black Ops was strictly Cold War stuff, which was involved with a lot of Russian stuff. That was the campaign. And
I only played through it once. So
I know there was...
And that was years ago. So
I know there was some sort of Asian country influence because there was a level of the campaign where you have to fight... It was Japanese, so it wasn't Vietnamese. I'm fairly positive it was Japanese during the Black Ops games.
Were you coming down that hill? And
yeah, that was one of the hardest missions on Veteran that I've ever played. But I don't believe they've ever touched the Vietnam era, and I believe their whole purpose for coming out with a Vietnam game was to compete with Battlefield's Vietnam DLC that they released for Battlefield Bad Company 2, because that came out and people really liked that. And I think, I mean, it's an era that has been explored by games, but Call of Duty is kind of the king of first-person shooters, and if they could really reinvent that era and make it their own, I think it could be a successful franchise.
Which, you know, speaking on that, Vietnam was a lot of jungle warfare.
Yeah, lots
extreme jungle warfare, and that's something I really liked about the World at War multiplayer, is some of their multiplayer levels were just really, you know, and especially the Japanese one on the islands and stuff like that. That was really... I just tend to like those areas a lot. I
think it's an area that they should explore. I think people are generally tired of the modern and, you know...
Well, I'm overly tired of it.
Yeah.
I really want to move. And this whole futuristic stuff. I wasn't a big fan of Black Ops 2.
Yeah, I wasn't.
And then Advanced Warfare, I mean, I suck at multiplayer first-person shooters, people. Like, I am not good at all. And I played Advanced Warfare and I got 39 kills my first game. So I'm like, alright, something's wrong here.
It's, I think, in my opinion, you know, since there were some members of, you know, the Infinity War team that left to join Respawn, and then they came out with Titanfall, and then there's a lot of elements of Titanfall that are in Advanced Warfare.
Exactly.
And for me, when I was playing Advanced Warfare, it was just, it seemed so painfully obvious to me that they were trying to make their own Titanfall to compete with it, and it's just... I don't know, man. It didn't work for me. I did not like the feel of the game. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe I liked it better than Ghost. I didn't like Ghost. Ghost
was bad. Ghost was really bad. But it's just, you know, I think people, at least I know me and you for sure, it's just this modern and futuristic setting in cities, you know, with buildings crumbing down and stuff like that. I think it's just a little overplayed at the moment. And I think if there was some jungle influence stuff and things that had to do with that, it'd be a rebirth of the franchise. I think it would give it a lot more light.
Not to mention all the traps and everything that's set out in the jungle. Yeah. I mean, it was a brutal freaking...
I mean, you have traps that, you know, you can have... you know, they have stuff like, you know, Claymores and C4 in the newer games, right? So, I mean, if you're going
these traps are like bamboo, like spikes, you know.
But if you're, you know, say, that could even be an idea for a kill streak if you really think about it. You know, you have care packages that you throw smoke down.
Well, now you're getting into multiplayer now. Yeah. We're talking about campaign right now, which...
Well, I think it's pretty safe to say that multiplayer is the biggest part of Call of Duty. Okay, and I'm thinking from a multiplayer standpoint, there's a lot of things with Vietnam that you can do that could flow really well into a... It would just flow really well in multiplayer. For example, you have Claymores in C4 and you have traps in Vietnam. You replace the Claymores in C4, maybe not replace them, but add on, you know, little mini traps. And then if, say, somebody gets a 5-kill streak, instead of an airdrop, you could have something where you could place a bamboo trap somewhere in the middle of the map. You know, maybe placed with a lot of traffic, so if one person goes down, they fall in it, the trap becomes exposed because the cover-up has been disturbed by somebody else, but that's still, you know, it's a solid kill streak plan, I think, and it could really change the way that multiplayer is approached because people will strategically put things in high-traffic areas so that they have to avoid them.
That would be interesting.
And I think it could really work out
for them. That would be very interesting. Yeah, I actually like that idea. Now, what would you... if there was something that you could add to the new Call of Duty's multiplayer to make it, I don't know, different, refreshing, something to revitalize it, because let's face it, it's gotten so stale.
I think in this day and age of Call of Duty, I think for me, at least this is my personal opinion, less is more. The more stuff you start taking away and getting back to your basic roots, I feel like if they started back from the roots and then built on that and then went back to their roots, if that was the timeline strategy that they went with, it could be a really refreshing series that wouldn't get old very fast.
Because, you know, with one of the first things that I saw about Black Ops 2 that I didn't like is the fact that you could just send out a drone to do all your killing.
Yeah.
I'm like, alright, that's cool, and, you know, they might do that in the future, but, I mean, you're kind of taking away the experience.
I think a lot of it is, I know that, for example, when you play Call of Duty 4, Modern Warfare, when somebody got a 7-kill streak, it changed the pace of the game because the maps were a little smaller, there was lots of exposed areas. The strategy of the game was changed when somebody got a helicopter. I think if they were to approach the Vietnam era and have these trap-type kill streaks, it would completely change the way that you strategize on a Call of Duty map. Say you're playing Domination, you put traps all around one flag that you want to protect. Now suddenly they have to come out with a way to avoid those traps and still capture the flag without being killed. And I think if they just change the way that people have to strategize about Call of Duty, because the way people play Call of Duty, and especially with their whole anti-camping policy that they're trying to push.
But that's almost like a trap camping type thing if you're going to surround.
Almost, but I think
there has to be some kind of balance to that.
I think people's strategy for playing Call of Duty right now is simply just run and gun, run as fast as you can. You got all these kill streaks that make you faster. You got all these, you know, exosuits that make you jump all over the place.
Yeah,
I think if you were to,
I
think if people would jump into this new Call of Duty with all these traps with their run and gun strategies, and they realized it wouldn't work because they could run into traps, and people would have to rethink the way they play. Sorry about that, we had a little bit of technical difficulties with our camera, but what I was trying to say is that I feel like if these kill streaks of traps were implemented well enough into the Vietnam games, is that people's run and gun strategies would no longer work because they begin to run into traps. They become more cautious, they play it a lot more differently than you're used to playing a Call of Duty game, and as a result their mindset would feel that the game is getting more refreshing.
I like that because instead of this whole run and gun strategy now, it's strategic.
It changes the way that people play the game. Instead of changing the game itself, which you can change it a little bit, I'll be honest, that's with the implementation of traps and stuff like that, but you don't have to change the game necessarily, you just change the way people play the game, and it gives them a whole, it makes it feel like the series and the game in general is just super fresh. You know, the Call of Duty elements are one of the greatest that's been implemented in first-person shooters. You have, you know, the weapon system, the perk system, stuff like that, very well implemented. If you put it back to its roots, just change the way people play the game, people will feel like the game is refreshing.
But at the same time, it's been regurgitated so many times that they need to do something more than just implement traps. They need to do something with the reward system or the weapon system.
I think what they should do is implement a new balance system between, say, kill streaks and other people that just causes people to change the way they play the game. Because if people change the way they play the game, it might as well like they're playing a brand new game. Things are all refreshed. It's no longer the Call of Duty where you run and gun and kill as many people as you can. It's now about avoiding people's traps, trying to strategize where you put those traps, how you avoid them, things in that nature. And I think if you just change like I said before, you change the way people play, they're going to feel like it's a refreshed and nicely implemented game.
Yeah.
Because since Call of Duty 4, I would say the multiplayer, at least from my standpoint, has generally been the exact same. It's the same strategy, regardless of what the map looks like. It's always been the exact same. But you change the map structure, make it have jungles, maybe even have those, you know, say you put a ladder on a tree, that becomes a, you know, high point to hide in. But you put on a ghillie suit because, you know, you've gained that by having a sniper rifle, you now have snipers in the trees. Now, sure, that's an issue of camping, but at the same time, it just...
They're snipers, I mean, that's kind of their job.
It changes the way people play the game. You have people holding down areas with long-range rifles that you can't necessarily see. People have to start strategizing how to avoid those people, how to maybe put traps to prevent that from happening to begin with, and it changes the whole concept of map control because there's things you have to avoid in order to control the map.
Even with like things like napalm and stuff like that, you can like set up like a I don't know, put like napalm in front of a path or something like that, effectively blocking someone from going over that.
It'd be pretty simple. Say you you have a ghillie in the tree, you know, that we discussed that. It's an issue of camping. I understand that. Bring back Molotov cocktails. If somebody can get behind where that person is hiding in the tree, you throw a Molotov cocktail, the tree catches on fire, now all of a sudden that sniper can't hide in that tree anymore, and he's dead because he's caught on fire. So
I actually like that, because then the tree, I like how the tree vantage point would be destroyed.
Exactly. So
why the hell don't they do that more often?
They
in these
do.
Games?
They're trying to create things on the map that happen to change the way you play the map, which kind of didn't work.
They're so minuscule that you can't even barely.
If you can do stuff like, say, you have a high vantage point for snipers, that's an advantage given to snipers. But you give the people on the ground an ability to get rid of that advantage. It balances each other out.
Yeah.
I think they should implement something like that.
Like having a rocket being able to like shoot down that one
exactly.
spot that's, have like
and I'm not saying go full Battlefield status and have, building destruction and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But if you had, say, you called in an old school Vietnam airstrike, stuff like that, you have those patch of trees that people are in, the trees start falling down onto the map, there starts to be craters in the map because of the bombs, people can start hiding in those craters and use that as a vantage point. There's lots of things they could do, and it just seems like it's all an idealistic thing at this point. It's not even about changing the structure of the game. It's about putting things in the game that change the way people play it, and then people will feel refreshed. That's my take on this whole situation.
Yeah, and I kind of feel like I don't know. Again, I kind of feel like Activision just kind of pumps these things out. And granted, yes, there are 3 studios now, so they're on a cycle.
Yeah, they do have a lot. They do have a lot.
I still feel like, I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't blame Activision.
Yeah.
Maybe I should. I know a lot of people hate them.
Yeah, it's just I just feel like, I don't know. I just feel like the series, with the introduction of the exosuit, for example, in Advanced Warfare, I feel like they're trying to do something different, and it's not really working. I feel like if they were to take my suggestion, one, stay away from Future. I think people are tired of it. People have been pumping out Future games for a really long time, and people have been
pumping out futuristic games since freaking
since
the Atari.
The future is a time concept that they want to mess with only because you can do absolutely anything to it because it hasn't happened yet. And I understand that they want to touch that.
But some people are just like, all right, yeah, some people are just like, oh, I want Modern Warfare, but I want to see what Future Warfare stuff like. Okay, but really, and I'll probably get a bunch of crap for saying this comment, but you want Future, you got freaking Star Wars, you got Star Trek, you got that kind of stuff, It's like, a lot of people, well, it's cool, and it's, it's not something that's gonna hold.
Yeah. I feel like it's so obvious that not only are they trying to compete with other games, but they're trying to add new elements, and I just don't think it's working. And I think if they just go back to their roots, try some things that change the way that people play the game, especially in multiplayer. The campaign has always been a pretty decent part of Call of Duty. They've never had a problem with making really compelling storylines, but I think if they go back to something like Vietnam, there's a lot of emotional stuff to be brought up, lots of room for controversy, which Call of Duty obviously loves. It gets them in the headlines, more people buy their games. It's just that I think Vietnam would be a very, very, very safe move for them if they implemented it well enough. And honestly, because Vietnam isn't so futuristic, I don't see a way that kill streaks could really become as overpowered and overwhelming as they are in the newer games.
At the same time, you don't want them to repeat their past mistakes and not. You kind of have to hit that sweet spot. You can't over implement something and not implement.
I feel like they've over implemented a lot of things such as kill streaks, and I feel like if they go back to the past and where things aren't as advanced, I think they could do a much better job at keeping the kill streaks.
I think that's why I like World at War so much.
Yeah.
Because even though
they were still on the 357 system, which was absolutely brilliant. I'm so upset that they got rid of it. Although Modern Warfare 2 I'm going to get a lot of crap for saying this. Modern Warfare 2 was one of my absolute favorite Call of Duties ever, only because it wasn't even about it being a Call of Duty game anymore. It was just about the experiences that I had playing it.
In no way beats Modern Warfare.
Call of Duty 4 is the greatest Call of Duty.
Thank you.
It's the greatest Call of Duty that I have played.
First 3 and World at
War was good.
But still.
Well, they had fresh concepts in World at War. Think of it. They still had the 357.
All right, now I'm going to correct myself right now. I like the first 3 Call of Duty stories better because I like the World War II setting. Multiplayer was something.
They had the 357 system, which was really good in Call of Duty 4.
Right.
They put that in World at War. They added dismemberment, which, in my opinion, because people are so used to Call of Duty, if you add something like dismemberment, it gives it kind of a shock value. Like, whoa, I can't believe I just did that. And people get kind of excited about it. they're trying so hard to, you know, add bigger blood splatters and stuff like that. They add all these blood effect screens when you stab somebody.
Everyone's so desensitized now.
I know.
That's like, no one really freaking cares. I mean, does anyone really still, like, give that much of a care about blood? I mean,
I don't think they do.
It's so, like, it's everywhere now.
But I just think if they were to bring dismemberment back, which I thought was a really cool part because it didn't happen all the time. They put it enough to where it happened rare enough that they got people excited about it. They introduced a fresh concept in World at War with Nazi zombies. That was great. They still are running with that idea, and it's a really good idea. It was a fun mode.
Zombies.
If they
I did not like. I don't know.
They don't really have to reinvent zombies. I just think they're getting a little too carried away. I think they need to go back to what it originally was and added the concepts that I've, you know, talked about in this video. I think the next Call of Duty could be a super hit. Do I think it's going to happen? I don't think so. I think they're going to do exactly what every other Call of Duty game has been trying to do.
I hope not.
They're going to try to over-add so much stuff, and I think the series is slowly going to die out. But honestly, the series is going to die out, that's my opinion, but I don't see a series that's currently going to overtake it, because we thought Titanfall was going to overtake it.
Well, but it was the most selling game of last year.
It was the most selling game of last year.
But now listen to this, though. Before Call of Duty was Medal of Honor.
That's
Medal of Honor had people who left the studio to make Call of Duty. Now people are leaving Infinity Ward to make other games. It's like game reincarnation. It's repeating a cycle right now. So
Titanfall could...
I'm not saying it's got to be Titanfall, but something else could come along.
I just feel like the title alone of Titanfall kind of restricts it from doing anything as crazy as Call of Duty has changed, for example. Because obviously,
you can put some
Call of Duty 1
sub-name behind it.
You have to say Call of Duty 1 is drastically different from the latest Call of Duty.
Yeah,
I feel like because Titanfall is named Titanfall, there's always going to be that implementation of Titans and futuristic kind of stuff, and they really can't do... Sorry for the technical difficulties once again, but I am going to get back to the point that I was talking about before I was interrupted by the camera, and that is that Call of Duty 1 is drastically different from the last Call of Duty.
Yes, it is.
I feel like because Titanfall has its name Titanfall, and it's established itself as a series with Titans and people, that it really can't, you know, break out into a bigger series that Call of Duty and Medal of Honor were, and I just don't see it as taking the crown as the most popular series.
I can see that. However, you know, I didn't... Like I was saying before, it doesn't necessarily need to be Titanfall that, you know, beats Call of Duty. I mean, there's already been a split from Modern Warfare 2 people, you know, that, you know, they formed Respawn and made Titanfall.
Yep.
So you never know. Maybe even more people might split off from Infinity Ward or one of the other two studios that have now.
That's true.
Maybe people will spawn, you know, split off from Respawn. You know?
There's a lot of possibilities for series to take over Call of Duty, but at the moment, I think Call of Duty needs to reinvent itself to really gain its crown back.
Maybe it's time that its crown is up.
Maybe, it's certainly possible.
Else, but,
anyway, we want to know down in the comments section below what you think the next Call of Duty is going to be, or if you have any ideas, you know, for the next Call of Duty, like we've been sharing in this whole video.
Yeah, please let us know what your ideas for a better Call of Duty would be, or what you would like to see in this next Call of Duty game.
That would be absolutely great. My name is Ethan York.
And I am Justin GameSage Borras.
And we'll see you guys some other time. Oh crap. Wasn't recording. I totally got your reaction on camera.